If my attention span as a sales rep is short and there was one really important thing about Lien Law, one rule that was maybe best to keep in mind, what would you want, every construction sales pro to know?
I would say the easiest thing to remember for salespeople is just to fill out those job forms completely. If they know who the owner is, if they know who the contractor is, ask the right questions to their customer. Don't be afraid to ask. I mean, if they say, I don't know who the contractor is, well, then ask them who their contractor is. Or I don't know who the owner is, well, check their contract and have them look, because the owner is going to be listed on that. Having all the job information is going to help everybody right from the start. You'll be able to protect your lien rights. You'll be able to contact the right people to get paid. And unfortunately, if need be, you'll be able to file a lien to protect your rights. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to meet with us today. Today, we're hoping to mend the relationship between sales and credit as it is in regards to lien law, why we ask for what we ask for, what we do with the information, and how it is utilized. I'm also joined today by John Weirick, who is the LevelTech payment expert. Hey, John.
Hey, Laurie, super excited to be here. Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have had the pleasure of selling LevelSet to construction companies now for almost 5 years. And specifically these days, I actually coach our sales reps, and I help our sales reps with training and just understanding why lien law matters to credit professionals like yourself and the businesses they work for.
Well, you're probably wondering, why should you listen to me? What makes me an expert on any of the stuff that we're going to talk about? I've been a credit manager for over 17 years. The last 13, I've specialized in Texas with construction lien law. When this first came to thought, I had informed my sales departments that I wanted to teach them a class just like this, explaining why I'm asking for what I'm asking for, why they should provide the information, and how we're going to utilize that information. The biggest surprise to me when I did the presentations was how many salespeople had no idea what lien law even was. They knew they were supposed to fill out job forms. They knew that we demand payment on the 14th. Well, why can't I just pick it up when I go home on the 15th? They had no idea what was going on. It actually was really surprising to me, because some of those salespeople have been there for a long time. So it was a great idea sharing this information with them, empowering them to not only know the information for themselves, but share that information with their customers. So when a customer says, well, I don't have a home builder, I don't have a GC, they can actually say, well, then who did you sign the contract with? Or if they see that the material is delivered to the lot next door to where the job is, why did we deliver material to that job? Why didn't we do it to the other job? You can tell when a customer is trying to play with the information. They know what they're doing, and they do try to hide it. And if they do any of that, unfortunately, you won't have any lien. So empowering your salespeople to know what they're talking about and knowing what to ask is definitely beneficial to the entire company. A week ago, I wrote an article on the credit and sales relationship. I did it with a peer of mine, Jackie Holting, which I'm sure a lot of you know. It was 6 tips on how to mend the relationship between credit and sales. There was great information in there, really just how to be a person with your sales team and showing them that we are on their side and they're not trying to push their customers away.
Awesome, Lori. I'm excited to hear a little bit more about this, but if I know most sales reps, they're also going to be concerned about what's in it for them. So do you mind giving me a little background? Why is it important to understand lien law if I'm a sales professional out at a supplier or another construction company?
The reason it's important is because typically sales are not paid their commissions unless the balance is collected. You don't get paid commission. I know a company they had where once it hit 90 days, the salesman lost 25% of their commission. Once it hit 120 days, they lost 50% of their commission. If a lien had to be filed on it, they didn't get paid their commission at all. So it's very important on the sales side just to make sure you can, you're not making sales that aren't going to be beneficial to you. As far as why you should understand the information and provide the right information, it makes it so much easier. Say credit doesn't have to provide the information or look up the information themselves. We can get your jobs entered immediately. We can put all the information as necessary. Your orders can go in there right away, and you get faster release of your material. The longer it takes that we have to verify all the information, unfortunately, if you need material right away, it could take a week or two before you get that out.
So it sounds like it does the sales rep good, it does the rep's client good because they're going to get their materials released, and it makes your life a little bit easier in credit.
One of the fun things I always loved about Lien Law is that I had so many different directions to collect payment from. Normally, you deal just directly with your customer. If you try to go around your customer, the customer gets mad, the salespeople get mad, you get calls from your manager asking why you're calling around the customer. But with Lien Law, you're allowed to contact anybody that's in that payment chain. You can contact your customer, you contact, if they're to a GC, a homeowner, you can contact the actual owner of the property. If it's a company, you can get through the company and talk to the partner. If it's an individual, you can contact both the husband and the wife if you find that information. You have so many more avenues to collect payment from. All it does is it may irritate people down the line, but it makes the conversation move down the chain and get the customer to respond, tell you what's going on. And at the end of it, hopefully you get payment. So there are three types of projects that we want to be able to differentiate. There's private, public, and federal. In this presentation, we are only dealing with private. When we ask our salespeople to fill out a job form, they need to know why. They need to know what we do with the information, why the specific information is needed, and how we go about utilizing that information. If we have lien rights, we have a larger, like I said, group to contact and get payment from. This helps sales connect better with credit because they know where their customer is and where everything lies. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you're trying, or you think you got the information, there are always mistakes when you're dealing with lien law. These are the top 4 mistakes that people typically make when they deal with lien law. Filing a lien when you actually don't have any lien rights. Typically, this could be if it's a homestead for a residential project, or if you delivered material to the address next door, or you may have even just had a wrong general contractor. Well, if you don't notice the right general contractor, you lose your lien right on that as well. Using incomplete or incorrect information is the same thing. You have to make sure and verify who the property owner is, who's managing the project, all that information. Missing your deadline by filing too late or not foreclosing, this is a big one. We actually have a credit community that has questions and answers in it. And one of the most questions that I get asked is, oh, I forgot to send my notice yesterday, or I haven't sent any notices. Can I still file a lien? Unfortunately, if you miss one notice by one day, all of your lien rights are gone and you can't pick them up. There are other things that can help you, but we'll discuss those in later episodes as well. But you definitely have to watch those deadlines to make sure you don't miss any of those. And then failing to send a notice of intent before filing a lien, kind of the same thing. If you don't send the notice when it's due, and if you don't send any notices, there is no captured money and you cannot file a lien.
Now, I can already hear the first excuse though of my customers are never a problem. All of my customers pay. So if I'm the sales rep that only sells to good contractors out there, how does having this job information still make things easier for maybe the business as a whole?
Having job information and all of the I's dotted and the T's crossed actually helps your company get bonded. We have to reach a certain amount of information, make sure that it's all correct to obtain the bonding for all of the late customers that we are financing. So it's really beneficial not only for the credit department, but for your company. They can send more credit, they can help provide to new customers. It really is beneficial for everybody. This slide is actually for salespeople. It's what they can help the credit department do so that there's a mutual understanding. Getting the information before any labor or material is provided. Easier for the customer to give you that information before they know what you're going to do with it. They can watch their aging. I know a lot of salespeople don't do this, but if they would pull their own aging every month and see, if you have a customer that's 60 days out, 90 days out, check with your credit department and see what the story is going on there. If credit can't reach a customer or obtain payment, I know a lot of salespeople don't like to be the bad guy, but it's helpful for you, instead of just letting us send notices and file liens, it's helpful for you to call them and just see if there's a situation. Maybe it's a sales issue, maybe it's a delivery issue. to see if you can help find out what the information is. And then don't forget to relay that to your credit manager. They will not find out any other way except through you. And then follow up again. Just make sure that you know the timeline, make sure that they did submit the payment or that you can go pick it up before the timeline. I'll talk about this more later, but typically all notices will go out unless a salesperson or the company has the check in hand. If you liked this class and the information that we provided, we have a lot more to share with you. Thank you again for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to Level Set.